at another installment of Energizing Your Career Through Strengths. Kara, how are you doing today?
I'm excellent. How are you today, Kristin?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I was just out at the largest community farm in the country.
Wow. So how large is the largest?
14 acres.
It's pretty darn large. All right.
Pretty cool, right? 60,000
Yeah.
pounds of food that they're going to be creating this year.
Oh, that's brilliant. What brought you out there?
One of the groups that I'm in, Women of Flower Mound, and we, work to actually provide scholarships for students. And that's one of our philanthropy groups that we just like to go out and help.
That's brilliant. Right on. And now we all learned something new today.
There you
honestly, for trivia, there you go. Boom.
I know, right? I just learned it, had to share.
That's right. I love it. That's brilliant. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So today we're talking about strategic.
Saying that organization definitely has to have a lot of strategic to pull off what they're pulling off over there.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Lots of moving parts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So let me tell everybody what strategic means. Mm-hmm. So people who are especially talented in the strategic theme create alternative ways to proceed. Faced with any given scenario, they can quickly spot the relevant patterns and issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it is magic. I know, right? We were talking about how it's 31 for me and 28 for you. So we definitely rely on our clients to help us give clarity around strategic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And saying, that organically as life has occurred thus far, I find myself just drawn to people with a strategic theme high. And until CliftonStrengths language came into my life, I didn't realize that was going on. So it was really cool discovering this tool and now being so enmeshed in my life with it. It's just like that all now makes so much more sense as to why they're a powerful partner for you and me and folks like ourselves.
I know. I said that too. I gravitate towards people that are high in not only strategic as one of the strategic themes, but really many of the strategic, themes within that domain.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then visual wise came up with The Matrix, which is a movie. So if you haven't checked it out yet, my friends, it's definitely worth a view. Lawrence Fishburne as Orpheus and Keanu Reeves as Neo. And for any of our friends who enjoy The Hero's Journey as well by Joseph Campbell, it's a wonderful, as most movies like that are, a wonderful parallel to The Hero's Journey. So definitely worth a look. And
kind of to draw that parallel in too, it's just people that are high in strategic are just really good at taking very complex thoughts and having clarity around those. Mm-hmm. And they just know the right way to move forward, or what they feel like is the right way to move forward, and just helping the rest of us mere mortals follow along in their wake.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's efficiency, clarity. It's almost like magic goggles that they have on, while the rest of us just don't wear those goggles and can't see through all the muck and confusion by any means. So.
A funny story, my little one, and of course he's 21, so he's not little anymore, but I remember as a little kid, he'd always say, he'd say, "Mom, do you see the pattern? Do you see the pattern? Do you see the pattern?" And I was like, "Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it." And I figured he's high and strategic. So that was coming out at a very, very young age. Like I remember awesome. That in 4 and 5 and 6. Yeah.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
All right. So when you are in the workforce, what kind of jobs do you see that would need somebody high and strategic?
Honestly, anywhere where, as you noted with your son, anywhere where the need to see patterns to help solve a problem fits, which really is cross industry. In personal experience, I've seen it used consistently day in, day out for our colleagues in the skilled trades, especially on the more orchestration level. So general contractors, the project managers, to really see the whole picture and be able to execute quickly decisions on like, let's go this way. Like we could go 20 different ways And it's really, that's the other piece that I've noticed. I don't know if you have as well, the how quickly the process of the filtering goes through. Unlike ideation, where it's like a verbal quick, it's almost like an internal process there. And you just wait a couple of seconds, like, bing, here's the answer, and you're like, wow, that's okay. And it does take a leap of faith. So if you haven't created that bond yet and that relationship with the person in your, or the people in your world with strategic theme high, it sometimes could feel like, are you sure? How'd you come up with that? So because you're just so fast. How about for you?
Yeah, I came up with one of our favorite shows just by the length of time that it's been out there, Law and Order. And it's really both on both sides. On the law side, somebody that can very clearly look at all these clues and figure out, how they all connect and, what that outcome is probably. And as we know in Law and Order, they usually figure it out.
So impressive every time. Yes.
I know, right? And fast, like within an hour.
Yes.
And then on the order side, for them to be able to come up with the strategy behind their case and how they're going to present that, I think those are both really, really speak to strategic.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, how about for volunteering or offering up?
Yeah, I see it as a consultant where you don't, as somebody high in strategic, you don't necessarily have to know all the details. It obviously helps, but they can walk into situations and very clearly see patterns that a lot of people don't. So I think kind of doing that brain dump for people where they just tell you what they know and you can ask the right questions. And it's just that clarity that they have, that they can bring to the party.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking any team that they're around, if you're in the team, even better. But if you're finding yourself around teams that are just in a rut, and especially if you're observing them offer up the same, going through the same motions over and over and over, it's an awesome opportunity for you to first, ask permission, and rather than, hey, just so you know, this. Kristin, you share often, introduce your strengths before they introduce you. And I think that's really important in these moments of, those with strategic theme high, you've got that lens, you've got that view, and you've got a lot of those answers already from your perspective. And if how you approach it is, hey, just so you know, this is what needs to be fixed, versus, that's probably not going to go as well, versus, hey, I've got strategic thinking theme high and I've got my strategic hat on. Are you open to some suggestions on how you can get out of this rut, move forward, whatever the situation is? So.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. You brought it up a little bit earlier, that building that trust factor with people. And, when you're high in strategic, a lot of times you got there so fast, you don't even know how you got there.
Yes.
And really taking the time to stop, backpedal a little bit and explain how you got there is a great way to build that trust so that later people will be like, I just trust you. What do you want me to do?
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it takes time. So again, for our friends out there who are strategic thinking theme high, if you find yourself like, man, they never listen to me, what Kristin just offered up, like, well, it might be the approach. It's not that what you're saying and what your perspective isn't valuable. It's extremely valuable. It's just how it's packaged is also important. So.
Absolutely. And we offer this up because we want you to be able to get out there and ask for the things that you're good at within your work so that you can work within your strength zone as often as humanly possible. So get out there and introduce your strengths and raise your hand when you see something that, you can use those.
Absolutely. And if you're strategic thinking theme high, thank you for offering your thoughts in the comments there on how it shows up for you. We love learning from you.
All right. Thanks.